Happy day and good morning, folks, from Brisbane in Queensland.
Hi, I'm Alex, adventuring my motorbike around the world. Join the ride in Australia.
We rode this morning with the train from the place of Rod and Chris in Cliffside for 50 Australian cents on the train for an hour. It's crazy. The water, by the way, is like $3 Australian in the supermarket here. Insane. And when I go in Munich for an hour, I pay like maybe $20 Australian. What's going on this planet here? Anyway, so we're going to explore the city today. I have a plan of a bunch of things to do. Going on the river, checking out some beautiful parks, having lunch in the park, and then just see what's going to happen in beautiful Brisbane. So it's like early morning, I think around 9 a.m. or so. It's a public holiday today in Brisbane, so everything is rather empty and we have the city for ourselves. How cool is that? The river is the place to be. That's why we're heading down. I walked for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes now, and I must say this is a beautiful city. It's very green. The buildings are very tall and everything is very much detailed here. It's just very, very impressive. There are coffee places. People are going for a walk. There are apartments just inside the city center, business centers. Oh, look at the skyline and the connection to the river. This is insane. Oh, look, that's very close to the city center. People just go climbing here. That little wall. They have a little Nepali temple here. Let's check that out. The temple was built by a Nepali craftsman from the Kathmandu Valley. And it was built for Expo in '88 here in Brisbane. So it was funded by the government and private donations. Brisbane City Hall and Clock Tower. Look at what they have carved in here. They have like the cow and the horses and the farming, some kangaroos. This is their heritage here. The flames burning here at the Anzac Monument in remembrance of the people who fell in wars. Brisbane comes with a crazy contrast of modern buildings and old historical buildings. This is so Anglo-Saxon, like in New York City, all the contrast. Time for some lunch. Gonna have some egg and baby spinach, some olives and some capsicum. And we're gonna have some bread in here, apple and the pear. And dessert's gonna be some pine nuts. Let's go. We're sitting actually in the botanical garden here. It's a nice view, I'll show you. Alright guys, new equipment to give you more immersive experience. This one is actually much cheaper than in Europe, about $70 cheaper. Let's give you a more 360 point view. This brother made it from Tenterfield all the way to Brisbane. Amazing, isn't it?
Nap time. From Brisbane we head to Gold Coast to learn about Italian freedom, further to Byron Bay, Tenterfield, Glen Innes, Eber Falls and the Ringo, until we reach a special home.
Okay.
Enough room to get out there?
Yeah, I should be fine, I think. Not just the side, also the height. Oh, just, you see. Awesome. Ah, we do it.
Very close.
Just gotta get the wobble right.
Chris, Rod,
See you,
take
mate.
care.
All
See
the
you.
best.
See you. Bye bye.
Be safe.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.
Bye.
Alright, we reached the AMX store. I think we're close at least. Let's see what's happening there. Let's get a new visor, because there's gonna be lots of rain here, right folks? And probably obviously a bit dangerous riding in rain. Parking here. Probably remember I broke my pin lock somewhere on the road, and I think it was in Nepal, I don't quite remember, but I got a new one on now completely. I also replaced the visor, because obviously all the sand went on and I think was a little bit like sanded. And now heading into Tasmania, the rainy and cold weather, I want to have clear visibility. Yeah, looking forward to see the road again.
I ride through Brisbane's CBD. Skyscrapers rising on either side. Streets alive with cars, buses and people. Cafes spill music and laughter onto the sidewalks. Alleyways glow with street art, and every turn shows a new side of the city. On the bike, I feel its energy, moving through the heart of Brisbane, part of the rhythm and chaos all at once.
Right folks, we've got the spare parts for the oil change, the brake pads for the rear, and we got some washers. I got 10 of them, because I think I'm not gonna get them so easily in South America. We're at Mount Coot-Tha, enjoying the view down onto Brisbane. It actually looks amazing. Look at this. What a metropolitan area that is. Beautiful. We just rode through the streets a couple of seconds ago, and yeah, amazing. Wow. Has been an incredible experience to explore Brisbane. Thank you for your hospitality. It was so good to sleep in heaven for a couple of days after 80 nights sleeping in the tent. 80! It's incredible. I mean, like, it's budget problems, but thanks for hosting me. That's real proper Australian hospitality. Hope to see you soon, guys. Take care, and we're heading back on the road now. All right, guys, we're heading to Gold Coast today. We're seeing Stefano, a friend that we met somewhere in Western Australia on the coast. I can't remember where it was. Anyway, gonna be an hour of ride, and then we are heading further southbound, maybe somewhere inside of the country. I got some guidance about routing from Rod and Chris. Let's get going.
Quick encounter with the police here.
What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom, probably traveling around the world is making me feel free. See you, man. It's taken forever.
Oh, the traffic lights are terrible here in Australia. In the front we see the Gold Coast. Tall buildings. Beautiful. We're at Byron Bay, Cape Byron. Gonna have a look at the lighthouse here, beautiful. Parking normally is $4 for a motorbike, but the guy was so friendly and kind to show me a spot where I can park here for free for a couple of minutes, so that's really cool. Giving light to the night. Here just down the lighthouse is the most eastern point on the Australian continent. Look at the waves that come in, that looks really gorgeous. Slowly they're moving over the ocean. A small fast sailing boat escaping the rain. It's just every morning the same. The tent is soaked in water and it takes ages to dry, and I'm just happy the sun is shining, which helps to get the water away. We made it to the Mount Mackenzie Lookout. Down there we have Tenterfield. It's a beautiful ride. I mean, like, the countryside here looks like probably in Europe like 500 years ago. It's so untouched in most of the cases. I mean, they build roads, they have like farming here, but they have like just like old trees that were just like standing there with no leaves anymore. Just the wood like we would have it in like a nature reserve, and that's like the standard here, right? So it's really beautiful, the ride here. The roads are good, the asphalt, the bitumen is okay. I mean, like, it's Queensland, but overall I think it's a good place to be. This is not Queensland, right? This is New South Wales. And I just learned in the early days, New South Wales was the place where the prisoners came. Un poquito problema. We have a little problem, folks. Tonight, we're expecting -5 degrees Celsius. And my sleeping bag, when I bought it, was only good until 0 degrees. However, I started freezing at 4 degrees because I lost some downs already that just go through the, it got just out of the sleeping bag. So I'm wondering, like, how do I stay cold tonight? But I have a plan. Let's see. So what we do is we take an additional silk sleeping bag that I only use when it's very hot. I put it inside as well, which is another layer around me. Then I'm gonna wear, obviously, my long motorbike underwear at the legs and at the body. I will wear this jacket as well. I will wear an additional t-shirt, a thin t-shirt layer as well. I will wear my hat as well, and obviously this hat too, so I'm gonna be double-headed. The sleeping bag needs to be completely closed, so I have like a layer where I can close it around the neck, and obviously then only have open the layer around the eyes and the mouth and the nose. You should not breathe into your sleeping bag. This is the worst thing you can do, because then the mist, the moisture goes inside, and the warmth will be kind of transported much quicker when the downs are wet. So what I did also is, like, I put the sleeping bag, when there was sun, I put it on the tent and let it soak in, so the downs really can go off, like open themselves and really have the full air that they hold and protect me. Also, I shake the sleeping bag to kind of get the downs to the top of the sleeping bag, away from the bottom. My sleeping mat is a 5R, so that's normally good just until you sleep on top of ice. So on ice it's probably too cold, but we're not sleeping on ice, right? The ground should be still around 5 degrees or so. So under the tent, I think we should be good with that one. Not to forget wearing these beautiful long motorbike socks. Also, I will close these little ventilation windows. They normally help to get the moisture out, but there's no wind tonight, so it's better to kind of just close them, and maybe a little bit more warm air stays inside. Maybe this makes like maybe 1 degree, half a degree, but at least. Yeah, obviously I'm gonna have a hot shower before I go to bed, and I fill up my Nalgene 1 liter bottle with cooking hot water before I head into the sleeping bag. Let's see if we're still alive tomorrow morning. But before heading to bed and have the final shower, I'm gonna have some warm dinner. It's just easy peasy, just some rice, adding some beans. I have 1 can of fish left and a lemon. That should be it for tonight. I mean, like, my legs, my feet are already freezing. I mean, I could take my shoes out and my socks, but I'm too lazy. Camel is covered as much as possible to protect her from the cold. I don't think it will help a lot. What I'm actually most concerned about is my electronic devices. So all the batteries, they're not good to get anything under below 0 degrees. But I mean, like, taking all the batteries in the sleeping bag is like bullshit, right? I just hope it will not freeze inside the tent and stay above 0 degrees. What can you do, right? Good morning and happy day, folks, from the tent department. I'm alive. I stayed warm until 5:30, then my left feet started to get cold, my left foot, and I woke up, couldn't sleep anymore, but so far so good. When I touch the inside of my silk sleeping bag, it's warm. If I touch the inside of my normal sleeping bag, it's cold. So it really makes a difference. I'm waiting for the sun to get out now, to get a little bit warmer when I go outside, then let the stuff dry. I heard a car leaving this morning and it was cleaning his windscreen with the wipers, and there was a lot of ice on the windscreen. The sun is out, but it's still very cold. We only had like 9 degrees now. I rode south and then I went on the Route 17 on the tourist drive. And we now reached Eber Falls. It's 12 a.m. in the morning and it's still very, very cold. But I'm gonna have a break now here, chill a bit and warm up a bit, and then head further east back to the coast because I don't want to freeze anymore here. The ride was beautiful. It was a little bit dry, and obviously it's winter here. There are no leaves on the trees, which I actually was not aware. This is proper winter now, I think. I felt like there are kind of seasons here, and there are lots of cattle out there. They're still kind of roaming around, and this is a big production place for meat, I guess. But I think it's especially beautiful here to ride during autumn when all the leaves are kind of red and orange. And that would be more beautiful than now. But I mean, like now again, we just crossed the range, and after like 10 kilometers, we are more like in this kind of typical Australian forest and trees again, which is crazy. Like this is so changing here. So we're checking out Eber Falls. There's a picnic area, which is nice, I think. Let's see what we find. Lunchtime. Carrying macadamia and almonds. Good energy, I think. How beautiful. See, you can just like sit here, chill a bit. That's probably going to do this in a bit. But let's look at the falls first. So we're riding along the waterfall way. There will be more and more falls coming. I'm not a big fan of waterfalls, but if this is the waterfall way, it's one of the most touristic areas here in New South Wales, I thought it's probably good to come here. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. What do we have over there? More waterfall. Water's falling down. Oh wow. Actually looks nice. I'm impressed. Oh wow. Beautiful. Eber Falls, look at this. Beautiful. New South Wales, Australia. Let's have a quick look at Eber Falls, the lower Eber Falls. As you can see, I'm too lazy to take the helmet off. Oh, look at this. This looks amazing. Beautiful. Oh, you know, you have the whole scenery. Fantastic. Look at the beautiful Sherrod Falls just on the side of the road. Oh dear, water's coming down. But not like in Tajikistan, they have fishermen here. No water crossings for us today. We are in the Ringo now at the campsite. It's actually a beautiful spot. Some pins, beautiful. Look at the background, that's nice. The sun is just about to set. We're gonna make some beef tonight. I have no real will to do the cabbage, so I just skipped it. I just have beef with salt. The olive oil is somewhere at the tent over there, which I don't want to walk to. I'm just too lazy. It's just like beef tonight. Let's go. Australian barbecue slow cook. At least I have meat on today. Normally I don't eat beef, but today I really had the taste for beef. Put some salt onto it. That's enough for the taste. Good morning and happy day, folks. We are starting from the campsite. I think this was actually the first time where I had to pack my tent wet. At least it was the first time in Australia, and this is always what we don't like because you need to dry it somewhere. I'm not expecting any sunlight today, so that really means I will need to sleep in a cabin tonight. No option for camping, just too much water in the sky. Anyway, we're going to explore the area today around the Ringo. We're gonna check out the skywalk. And yeah, probably gonna head to the coast. There's gonna be loads of rain coming down, so I will have the opportunity to stay with the friends in place in their house closer to Sydney. I need to see if I just skip some parts of the travels and just like head down further there. because what should I do when it's raining all the time, right? This is not really fun. And what comes in addition is I need to do oil change. It's due not because of the kilometers I ran, but I will do oil change one more here in Australia, then before I leave Australia. And I'm like pretty much over halfway of the trek that I will need to do, that I will go to do in Australia. So better change at halftime, right, than run both intervals almost the same length. I just called a workshop, a smaller workshop. I don't think they belong to a certain brand. Had very good ratings on Google, but they're not able to help me. They can't give me a place to kind of just like do it myself. They always want to earn money with you here in Australia. And yeah, I don't appreciate that because I can't do oil change. Asking a group, Facebook group of the adventure riders here, maybe they know anybody in the area around where I can just like pop in and change the oil myself, because as you know, nobody else touches my motorbike because everybody just messes it up. If you ride overland abroad, do the stuff yourself or don't do it, because they really mess it up. I mean, like when you have sponsors and these workshops know that you are in touch with a manufacturer, it's a different story, right? But if you're not, do it yourself. All right, Forrest, huh? This is the Skywalk already. Place to be, let's walk there. The place is just like $2 to enter. I mean, like, guys, it's much cheaper than in Bali. Hey, what's wrong here? Fortunately, again, a drone-free place. What can we do? Oh, look at this. This is really nice. Beautiful. We look into the rainforest. It's a national park, actually, right? Oh, this place is even beautiful when they have overcast. This is fantastic. Look at that. Really incredible. The rainforest here in Australia. I mean, yesterday, a couple of kilometers, not even 50 kilometers down into the country, the scenery was completely different. They had snow 2 weeks ago. Everything was brown colored, cold, and here the diversity here at the coastline is really impressive. Really impressive. I was not aware of that. Oh, wow, see what you get for the money here. You can use this for selfies. Amazing. You get something for the $2. Impressive. Australia, the place to be. Now we're going to have a short rest here close to the beach in Nambucca. And just chilling a bit and then heading further, I guess. Let's go. So this is for my friends from Brisbane. Here the thongs are already a little bit dirty. And the woolies bag is filled up, right? Just chopped at Aldi and got it refilled. Aldi, this is the place to go. Hey guys, seriously, real text. I don't know where to put this. I have no space left. Like, this is fully packed. Like, it's the paprika here. This is already kind of outside. The oil is here. I mean, like, I'm trying to put it underneath here now, if it's maybe possible there on the highway, freeway. A beautiful spot for surfing. I have to hit the roads. Gonna go down to Forest now. A friend from our family, they have a house there, and I have the big honor to stay there for a couple of days, which I'm so happy about because rain is coming. I need to dry my tent and everything, and it's so good to go to a house. You know, this is like paradise. It's like, you know, I slept 80 days in a row in a tent, and then I stayed with Rod and Chris 3 nights in a real bed. This was like, I mean, like, we don't respect in Europe and in Western countries how good it is to sleep in a normal bed sometimes. This is incredible. Now I'm gonna go to a house. From a tent to a house. Do you imagine this change? This only holds because of the weight of the oil. What the hell, man? Let's see if we have mushrooms later or not. They're forecasting really heavy rain, like 10 centimeters in the next 2 days. So I decided to hit the road and skip most of the parts here and just spend time at my friend's house. Because what shall I do in the rain? I mean, I can get a cabin somewhere, but then I'm also inside. So it's gonna be 182 kilometers down the road. Yeah, let's go. Hey guys, I realize more regularly now when you compare the fuel prices here, there's the 95 and there's 98. And there's just a price difference of like 5 euro cents, like 8 Australian cents, which is much different than what we have in Europe. I think like in Germany, the V-Power with Shell, if you go for V-Power 98, is like 20 euro cents more, which is, maybe I'm wrong, right? But I always go for V-Power here because I only go for family. Right, we're approaching the house. Not very far.